This is Tom Fox. I'd like to welcome you to the newest addition to the Compliance Podcast Network, the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where you bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. Join us as we explore the latest trends from the Department of Justice, share some best practices, demystify complex compliance issues to help keep your organization doing business ethically and in compliance, and at the end of the day, more profitably. Tune in daily for your dose of compliance wisdom. Let's make compliance a little less daunting, one tip at a time. Now a word from the sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, Ethico.
In compliance, the value of anonymous reporting is undeniable. But with Ethico, anonymity doesn't mean a loss of connection. Our blinded, two-way communication fosters an environment of trust and confidentiality, encouraging open and honest dialogue. It's not just about receiving reports. It's about understanding the story behind each one, creating a culture of integrity and respect. Transform your approach to anonymous reporting with Ethico. Begin your journey at ethico.com/CPN, where you can book a demo, access an exclusive white paper by Tom Fox titled The ROI of Compliance, and utilize our free ROI calculator.
Today we ask the question, or at least explore the question, of whether companies need to still worry about the selection of a corporate monitor. I raised this question in the context of, are monitorships still something that are viable or at least utilized by the Department of Justice? We saw one monitorship in 2023 and a series of cases where, or I should say FCPA enforcement actions, where it would appear that a monitor should have been used or at least met the criteria for the monitorship selection that was laid out by Lisa Monaco back in 2023, but no monitor was required. So what could be the reason for this, and how is the department not putting a monitorship in place? And perhaps the most stark example is the Trafigura FCPA enforcement action from April 2024, where the company did not cooperate. They did not self-disclose. Initially, at least, they did not cooperate with the investigation. That led to a significant reduction in any credit they could have been given under the corporate enforcement doctrine. Yet, even with no information in the criminal information or plea agreement that the company had put together a effective compliance program, let alone tested it, no monitor was required. So this led many of us to scratch our heads until there was information from SAP, and that information was that SAP hired a woman to be the monitor liaison. Why was that so significant? Well, it's because SAP does not have a monitor. Now, they are under a DPA for their second or recidivist FCPA violations, but there was no monitorship required. There was extensive reporting requirements, and when you couple that with what the DOJ has been doing over the past several years to hire compliance experts for the FCPA unit, really taking the place of the position started by Wei Chen as the compliance outside expert resource to the Department of Justice, you begin to see that perhaps the DOJ is taking the overall oversight of companies under enforcement actions in-house. So, wither monitors? As you know, this month's sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, including this podcast, is Ethico. Have you ever wondered about the ROI of your compliance program or had concerns with presenting budget proposals to your CFO? Well, I partnered with Ethico to write a white paper on the ROI of compliance and how you can think through compliance as an investment strategy. Ethico has put together a ROI calculator for you. Check them out on the website. This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily. And frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The compliance tip of the day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network.